Hello everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. Just in case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Now today we are focusing on our lower body. We're gonna do a nice deep lunge. I'm going to use some props today. You don't have to use anything at all, but I do find that I can go deeper into the stretch when I do have some props. So I've got a nice thick pillow and I've got 2 blocks. Find a little bit of space to move for sure, and let's get started. All right, we are going to be lunging today. So we're going to be on our knees a little bit. And I'm using a nice thick pillow because I find that the higher my knee is off of the ground, the deeper I get into my hips. So if you don't have a thick pillow, you could roll your mat over for something just to be soft under your knee. You don't have to use anything at all. You could roll a blanket up, a towel, anything at all. Left knee is going to go on something or the ground, and then our right foot will come forwards. And my blocks are really just to hold onto, because I find when I'm not just collapsing forwards, I can also soften a little bit more through my hips. We want to sink our hips forwards and down a little bit. Now you might just let the chest be nice and heavy on your front knee, melting towards the ground. Or you might press into the hands just a bit, but still leaning forwards with the chest. So just notice your back foot. Rest on the top of it if you can. Try to be nice and light through it. Let that left hip flexor open up, lengthen. So a few more breaths here in a nice simple lunge that's maybe all propped up by things. And then we're just going to sneak out of it for a moment. We're going to send our hips back just to give our hip a chance to forget about what we were just doing. You can lengthen your front leg, a little half split, a little hamstring stretch. And then we're going to come back into that lunge. And it might be exactly the same, or it might be a little bit different in a moment here. But sink your hips forwards and down. Let that left hip open up. Now, if you do have a block underneath your hand, bring it closer to your foot. So we're going to keep our left hand and our right foot pretty close together. And we might start to turn our chest towards the knee or towards the right side a bit. You might even try to look behind you, look towards your back foot, and maybe that foot will lift and you'll reach for it. Still sinking your hips forwards and down. Little quad stretch though. And if you did lift your back foot up, very gentle as you bring it down, facing forwards or the ground again, and just, you can move that left block, that left hand out a little bit further from the foot, and let the hips sink forwards more. Awesome work, you guys. Just another breath or two on this side. You can send your hips back and lengthen the front leg. Sneak your hamstring. Stretch in. And then let that go. We're going to find our way to lunging on the other side. If you want to take a moment, sitting down in tabletop, take your time. But I do have all my props here, and I'm going to use them. So if you've got something nice to go underneath your knee. Bring it under that right knee now, your left foot forwards. Scooch around so that you're happy. Your hips are able to sink forwards. You're not sending them back yet. You're sending them forwards. And maybe moving your blocks so they're just nicely placed underneath your hands. And your right hip, or this hip, might feel completely different than the other side. Your lunge might look a little bit different. But can our breath be the one constant? Let everything else go and just breathe. Take another moment here. And if you want to stay, you could stay, but if you want to pull out for a moment, send the hips back, lengthen that front leg. And just meet me back in your lunge when you are ready. And just a few breaths here before we move into that quad stretch. Letting your hips sink forwards and down. And we want them to continue to sink forwards and down, even if we go into the quad stretch. So if you can move your hand or your block closer to that left foot. And a little turn of the chest, a little peek behind you. Maybe the foot will lift and you reach for it. But your hips haven't moved. They're still sinking forwards and down. Hugging your knee in towards your chest too. And you can gently let go of your foot. And if that was a little bit of effort, maybe when you come back to your lunge, it's a little bit more relaxing. Your hips can soften a little bit more. Take another breath or two. Then we can send our hips back again. Come out of your lunge, find your hamstring. Awesome work, you guys. So you can let that go. You can come on out of your lunge, back to a seated position or tabletop. You can move your props out of the way if you are using props today. And just notice how your hips are doing. What did you think of having props? If you did have them. Sometimes they can take us deeper into a stretch. Sometimes they make things a little bit easier. It's all about where you place them, what you think about them in each different moment. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope that your hips are also thanking you. Enjoy your day, and until next time, namaste.